People are calling it an overnight bag. But nothing about this feels overnight. The real question isn't how fast the money came in. It's how long the internet was quietly lining up for this moment. Because when a former kid star flips a switch into an 18-plus business model, you don't just get headlines. You get a flood of people asking the same uncomfortable thing in different ways. Was this a choice made at the moment? Or a plan built for years? And if that question makes you squirm, good. That means you're actually paying attention. Let's talk about what just happened. Without the fluff, without the moral panic, and without pretending this came out of nowhere. Piper Rockelle officially launched an OnlyFans page at the start of January 1st, 2026, after teasing it through December. Shortly after, she claimed she brought in around $2.9 million on day one. And that one screenshot-style flex turned into the headline everybody ran with. But here's the thing. Arguing over the exact total is a trap. The number is loud, sure, but the number is not the story. The story is the speed of the reaction. The story is how ready the internet seemed the second it went live. And when something looks that prepared, people start wondering what was happening behind the curtain long before the curtain ever went up. And that's where this gets complicated. Because the next part wasn't a random plot twist. It was foreshadowing. If you tease something for long enough, you don't just build hype, you build habit. You train people to check. You train people to wait. You train them to treat a date on the calendar like an event. And when the event arrives, it doesn't matter if the audience is supportive, curious, or just messy. They still show up. That's why the midnight launch vibe hits differently. It's not only about access, it's about momentum. It's about making the internet feel like it's part of a moment they can't miss. And once that machine starts rolling, it's not just hard to stop. It becomes profitable to keep it rolling. But if you want to understand why so many people said, yeah, we saw this coming, you have to rewind to a specific collaboration that set the tone months earlier. Back in February 2025, Piper visited and filmed content with the Bop House creators, a group widely known for OnlyFans-focused work. And the collab sparked backlash partly because she was 17 at the time. Piper publicly responded to the criticism and framed it as just a collab, not some secret recruitment. Even so, that moment mattered because it connected her brand, while still underage, to a world that the internet already associates with adult subscription content. And once that association is made, people stop treating the future as a mystery. They start treating it like a schedule. So when the OnlyFans link finally arrived at the start of 2026, it didn't feel like a brand new direction to a lot of viewers. It felt like the next chapter in a storyline the internet had already written in its head. But the internet doesn't just write storylines, it also creates something darker, something nobody wants to claim responsibility for: a waiting room. Yes, at 18, an influencer can make adult career choices. But choice doesn't erase strategy. This wasn't a blurry, last-minute decision filmed in a bedroom on a random afternoon. This was teased, launched, marketed, and turned into a public event. And when something is executed that cleanly, it almost always means there's planning behind it. Whether that planning is coming from a manager, a family member, a team, or the creator themselves. That's why the public debate splits into two loud sides that talk past each other. Side A says, she's grown, let her get paid. Side B says, okay, but why does it feel like the adults around this brand always know exactly what they're doing? And that second side gets louder when people remember that this isn't the first time her world has been surrounded by controversy. Because long before the OnlyFans headline, there was already a storm around the Piper Squad era. And it changed how people interpret everything that happens now. In 2022, former Piper Squad members filed a lawsuit alleging mistreatment, exploitation, and inappropriate conduct by adults involved in the content operation, while Tiffany Smith and Piper responded by countersuing, using a RICO-based claim, arguing there was a coordinated attempt to fabricate allegations and extort money. That legal back and forth also came alongside broader scrutiny about whether kids were being pushed too hard for content and money, and whether the whole environment was healthy, even without picking a side. The existence of that history matters for one reason. It trained the audience to view the brand through a specific lens. So now, when Piper makes a huge adult pivot, some people don't evaluate it like a normal influencer move. They evaluate it like the final stage of a pipeline. And whether that interpretation is fair or not, it explains why the reaction isn't calming down. Because this isn't just celebrity news. For many viewers, it feels like a case study. And the case study raises one last question that nobody can answer comfortably. So what happens now? If the day one money claim is anywhere near accurate, it's going to inspire copycats immediately. More young influencers will look at that headline and think, why would I grind for brand deals when a single launch can change my life? At the same time, the reputational split will keep getting sharper. Some fans will call it empowerment. Some will call it exploitation. And a lot of people will quietly admit the creepiest part isn't the platform. It's the audience behavior that platforms make possible. Because this story isn't just about one creator. It's about what happens when the internet watches someone grow up, monetizes every stage of it, and then pretends to be surprised when the final form sells out. And that's why this conversation doesn't end with "she made millions." It starts with a harder thought. If this was predictable, who was supposed to step in and make sure it didn't become inevitable? What do you think? Was this always the destination? Or did the adults and the algorithm quietly steer it here?